My name is Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well radio show. We broadcast every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics, including wellness, health care, elder care, even end-of-life care, and of course, caregiver support. Today is Saturday, June 15th, 2019, and we have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. And we will be talking about the importance of advanced funeral and cremation planning. We are broadcasting live today. I'm looking forward to answering your questions on this important topic of advanced funeral and cremation planning. Please call us with your questions at 952-946-6205. Our friendly and talented show producer, Eric Nelson, will be answering the phones today. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome, Ken.
Or if you prefer, you can bypass Eric and text us directly your questions at 612-999-3426. You can find all the podcasts from our shows on the AM 950 website by clicking the on-demand button and then looking for our show logo, Living Healthy and Aging Well. The purpose of this radio show is to bring you specialists and experts and people with a passion for helping others from across the health and wellness fields to provide insights and recommendations on how to navigate the complexities and challenges of managing both you and your loved ones' health and quality of life. We also focus on our senior population and how we can help you prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential to supporting our aging population. I am so grateful for the opportunity each week to discuss these timely and important topics with you, and I am so thankful for the tremendous response you've provided to us regarding this radio show. Please continue to send us your questions, comments, and suggestions to our radio show phone number at 612-999-3426. Well, I'd like to introduce our guests today, Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you for having us, Ken.
Well, my pleasure. Well, before we get into the conversation about what's involved in advanced funeral and cremation planning, and we've got a lot of things to talk about today, our audience always enjoys hearing about your guys' background and the background of the organization that you come from. Bill, would you mind giving us a background of your organization and a bit about you and how you kind of came into this process of managing your funeral services?
Sure, Ken. That's my privilege. We are a family business, the McReavy family, and right now it's my mother, Kay, and my father, Bill, and my sister, Cindy, and myself. The four of us, as far as that own the company. It's family owned and operated. And Cindy has two sons, so my two nephews, Jordan and John, are both licensed funeral directors, and so are my two sons, Brett and Blake. All four of them and myself and my father, we all received a Bachelor of Science degree in mortuary science from the University of Minnesota. And it is a family business, and we've been in business now for 162 years, 1 year before Minnesota was declared a state, in fact.
Well, so they built the state around your organization. Well, it's an important service. You guys have been doing this for as long as Minnesota's been around. And we're going to talk about all the various aspects of what your organization provides to our communities and to our families. But let's talk a little bit more about you, your background, and some of the things you've done in association with your organization, but also with the community, with Minneapolis and St. Paul. I know you've been involved in Equitennial, and so has your parents and grandparents.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Last year I was Aquatennial Commodore. And my grandfather, my dad's dad, Donald McReavy, was Aquatennial Commodore 70 years ago. And so it really is an honor. It's been kind of a connection to him. Unfortunately, he died at a very young age, age of 43 in 1949, and that was just 2 years after he was Aquatennial Commodore. And so it's been kind of a connection for our family to him, because my dad was only 17 at that point, and he was a very big part of the community. And there we were, right on the banks of the Mississippi River, And, we were the first established funeral organization in the state of Minnesota. We started out as a furniture manufacturer, and who better to build a casket than the furniture manufacturer? And so that's how, and my great-great-uncle was William Washburn. He brought in his nephew, who was my dad's dad, Donald McReavy. So that's the name Washburn McReavy, and it's been that way ever since. And we just maintain the same name forever, and still family-owned and operated. So that's the way it's going to stay. And so now, and it's a huge part of we've really enjoyed being a part of the fabric of the Minneapolis and Minnesota community, where we love the University of Minnesota, we love the Twin Cities and all of its suburbs. And my great-great-grandfather was actually the engineer and the designer of the Stone Arch Bridge. And so, and I live right there on the river. That's home to us.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been a part of the community in the Twin Cities for as long as I can remember, and being involved with the University of Minnesota. I went there twice, you guys have been longtime supporters of the Twin Cities and of the civic elements of the Twin Cities over the years. I also want to introduce here Pam. You're with us, and could you give us a bit of background about you and how you became involved then with Washburn McReavy?
Well, I got into the funeral business just by default. At the time when I was married to my husband, he was finishing mortuary science school, so we moved into a funeral home, and I raised our two daughters in a funeral home. And it just evolved. That was mostly in Ortonville, Minnesota. And then we moved to the Twin Cities, and that's where I became employed with Washburn McReavy in 2006.
Okay, so you've been there for several years then.
Yes,
okay.
Going on 13 years.
And can you tell us about, what is it that you focus on, and what do you do then for the organization?
I oversee our advanced planning division of the company, and so I help to educate the community on the benefits of planning ahead.
Okay. And, I know you guys are big in terms of education and getting out and talking to people. It seems like a lot of people in the elder care, senior care, aging, of course, my area of hospice, we are constantly educating people because they just don't know. They're not aware of all the things that go on in a lot of these elder care, senior care, aging issues. And so, do you guys typically have seminars at senior centers, or how do you get your information out to people typically in education wise?
So primarily we look at people 55 and up, and so those would be 55 and up communities, but churches, Kiwanis, we do a lot in our own chapels, but really everybody needs to hear about this information, so we try to get out there as much as possible.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more. We're getting close to the end of the first segment here, but let's talk about your organization, Bill. How many locations do you have, and kind of what communities do you cover and are involved with, just so people get a sense for the scope of your organization.
Sure, Ken. Well, we've got 16 locations. 4 of them are cemetery funeral home combinations, where we've got a funeral chapel right on the grounds of the cemeteries, and that's something kind of unique in the country as well. And we have one in Northeast Minneapolis, Hillside Cemetery, one in North Minneapolis, Crystal Lake Cemetery, then in Crystal, which is Glen Haven Memorial Gardens, and Bloomington Dawn Valley Memorial Park. And then we've got the suburbs from Eden Prairie and Bloomington all the way up to Coon Rapids, Robbinsdale, Hopkins, a number of different cities. And we're a larger organization when you think about funeral service, but we're actually a very tightly held, very closely controlled, and well-managed company. Yeah. The McReavys know everything that's going on. We are very close to our staff. We hear everything that's happening out there. We survey every family, and we try to really do a great job of serving the community. And nowadays, it's very difficult to have just one location. You really have to have multiple locations, move your people around, move your automobile equipment around. That's the only way that you can appreciate economy of scale of being able to serve families at competitive prices in this day and age.
Yeah, no, and we'll get into more about some of the specific services you provide and maybe some of the costs and how people can anticipate and plan for those later in the show here. So give me a sense of how many employees do you guys have as a part of your organization?
We have approximately 200 staff,
Okay.
and combining full-time and part-time. Some of it's seasonal with our 4 cemeteries because there's more cemetery staff that's needed in the summertime. That's some awfully big gardens to take care of. 148-acre gardens, a couple of them, and 35 acres on 2 of them. And we take a lot of pride in them. And actually, it sounds kind of funny, but it's really our family's passion. Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's more than just a job. It's more than just a company.
Right. Well, that's why I have such a preference for owner-operated organizations. And I just love the priority of getting them in and talking about their organizations because it is that passion. And that passion is passed on generation to generation, too, in many cases. So that's great to hear. Well, I can hear the music's being queued up here by Eric. We're going to end this first segment, and we'll be right back after a short break to continue our conversation with Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos with Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services on the importance of advanced funeral and cremation planning. Please stay with us.
Matt McNeil for Rudy Luther Toyota. Conquer the road trip family vacation. It's easy with the Toyota Sienna. The trick to road trips is to not get exhausted, and as a man who's been behind the wheel for 16-hour days, the Toyota Sienna makes those days comfortable. Roomy, relaxing, and a treat to drive, it makes the long days drive easy. Highway driving, city driving, or country driving, you'll make it a memorable trip with a Toyota Sienna. And it fits all your gear. Test drive one today at Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Being a dog is awesome, except when you really gotta go, but you're stuck inside. That's why I had my human called an urban dog. Daily walks, field trips, play groups, one-on-one time, safe off-leash play, and pet sitting. I love being an urban dog.
The Urban Dog works with your schedule and can create a plan that fits your needs. The Urban Dog. Exercise, explore, socialize. Let the journey begin. Call 651-231-6333. That's 651-231-6333.
It's a great time to spend these June days in the garden, admiring visitors in the bird bath and marveling at what managed to sprout out of the ground. Unfortunately, those colorful flowers can track in 50 shades of dirty soiled carpeting. Luckily, Zero Res is here to save the day. You can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and sanitized starting at just $149. So call Zero Res today at 952-ZERO-RES or go online at ZeroResMinnesota.com. And don't forget to say you want that AM 950 special, Zero Res.
Prairie Oaks Memorial Eco Gardens is the first green cemetery in Minnesota. It's a beautiful, peaceful place where burials are celebrations of life with as little impact on the environment as possible. Tony Weber founded it because he wants to leave a green legacy for his grandchildren, something many of us might feel. Learn more, visit the website mngreengraves.com. Give them a call. The goal is so meaningful, so positive, it might be right for you. Prairie Oaks Memorial Eco Gardens.
Do yourself a favor and check out the amazing cuisine of eatlocalminnesota.com. More than just a website, eatlocalminnesota.com provides you with the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities. Enjoy made-from-scratch cooking at the family-owned Milton's, specializing in dishes like award-winning ribs and plank salmon, grilled up on their charcoal grill. Satisfy any sweet tooth with incredible desserts like Bananas Foster. Milton's menu also includes gluten-free options and a large selection of local craft beers. Reservations accepted for groups of 5 or more. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking cuisine, the Great Wall Chinese restaurant has been a local favorite since 1981. They offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include the sesame chicken, imperial beef, and Peking duck. The Great Wall restaurant is located off 45th and France, with takeout available too. More at greatwallrestaurant.us.
All right, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in studio is Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from the Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. And we are talking about the importance of advanced funeral and cremation planning. Before we get back into our conversation, I'd like to mention that this radio program is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice, an independent physician-owned medical practice serving local Minnesota communities for over 11 years with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice at 952-898-1022 or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. Pam, let our audience know how they can get in touch with you guys. If they have any questions regarding funeral planning, cremation services, any of the great topics we're talking about today, what's the best way they can get a hold of you guys or get more information?
Well, the best way to learn more about us and get in touch with us is our website, www.washburnmcreavy.com, or call us directly at 612-377-2203.
Okay, great. And we will give that information out after each break here during the show. So if you've missed that, folks, we'll give it out again. So last segment, we were just getting some background about you two guys, about how you, how the family business got started, 160 years ago, and about the time when Minnesota was formed. So great tradition, great history of your organization, and Pam, how you got into the business. I really want to get into more about what are the services that you guys provide, because I think a lot of people aren't quite sure as to what's involved in being a funeral and a cremation provider for our communities. So, Bill, maybe give us some breadth and scope of what it is, the services you guys provide.
Sure, Ken. We try to make it really easy for people to decide what they're going to do and to be aware of their options. One of the things that we do, first of all, is that we have information on our website that Pam mentioned, www.washburnmcreavy.com, as she mentioned, and it's a lot of really great information. We've worked very hard to put together a very informative website. And part of our website is we actually have what's called a general price list that every funeral organization or cremation provider in the country is required to have. And so we have a really nice general price list that helps explain the services that we offer. And that's actually on our website. To the best of my knowledge, we were the first in the country to have that published on our website. We decided a long, long time ago when websites first came out that we wanted to have complete transparency. And so when people call in and they say, can you share with us costs? We ask them, do you have access to the internet? And we direct them to our website. And then, of course, we could mail them information. We can come out to their home. They come into us for seminars, as Pam mentioned. And the services that we offer, we're a full-service funeral and cremation provider. We actually offer every service that anybody can offer for traditional burial or cremation services.
Okay. And off the air, we were talking about maybe some of the innovations or new things that are kind of coming into that field. Everything from a different type of cremation services, and we can talk about that a little bit here in a minute, but also green burials, and there's a lot of emphasis on being ecologically friendly. Could you speak to some of that? Because I know a lot of our listeners are really interested in that type of ideas.
Certainly. Yeah, we are seeing more and more where people want to lessen their carbon footprint, and we want to be a part of that. We have different products available that for example, biodegradable urns for cremation urns that will literally disintegrate. I've worked with cemeteries where we can have basically 100% natural interments. So it depends on what a family wants. Here's the thing about today's society is we have to listen very closely to what do our client families want and what do they need, and we want to make sure that we can provide that. There's something new called alkaline hydrolysis. The other name that is used is aquamation, and we are able to do that as well if somebody wishes to have that. It is a little bit less of a carbon footprint left behind. If that's important to somebody, we can provide that service. I will tell you that we own and operate our own crematories, and our staff does an excellent job that way, serving families. And your loved one never leaves our care. We take your loved one into our care. We don't subcontract all of these important services that way, so we can take care of it ourselves and make sure that that family is served very, very well.
Well, that's really important. I know people that when we're speaking to people at end of life and we're taking care of them in a hospice program, we do talk a lot about what you're planning, what is the disposition that you want to see happen, and that's just one of the questions they have is who is going to be managing, who's taking care of my loved one after they pass, and so it's important to understand that you guys don't lose that connection throughout the process. It's all in-house with you guys.
You're right. And here's the thing is that we try to really make sure that people understand it's so easy. On our general price list, for example, the first item is full-service cremation discount package. And we offer a discount to families that either pay in advance or at the time, if they do certain things, purchase a casket or a cremation urn through our existing inventory. We give a financial discount. And we explain that to them. It's real easy to see. We've got it right in writing where full-service cremation discount package, memorial service with an evening visitation, memorial service that's just a one event with a visitation an hour before, and just a very simple cremation as well. And then, of course, we have two different types of traditional burial discount packages. One is a full traditional service, either at one of our chapels or at a church or some off-site location. And it doesn't matter where it is, it's the same price. We go through that. And then the other thing is just a simple graveside service. Some people just want to have a simple gather at the cemetery and have a burial. It might be something very natural. It might be something that they've had family flying in and go out to Fort Snelling National Cemetery and have an interment there. It might be at one of our cemeteries or one of the cemeteries in the community.
And you mentioned about the flying in, the coordination. That is a big deal. And do you guys help with that a little bit, or what do you guys do for that?
Well, we're real careful to focus on our core business and what we do. We don't try to do everything. We stay focused on funeral and cremation services. Okay. But you're right. Today is so different than when I started 37 years ago. Very different.
All right, Bill, we're going to take that topic into the next segment here. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy. Please stay with us. Perfect.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950, here to tell you about Snap Construction. They're experts in roofing, siding, window, and insurance restoration. They have energy-efficient products available for both residential and commercial properties. This spring, when we needed a company to take a look at a problem with our roof, I called the company I knew I could trust, Snap Construction. I've known Ryan, the owner at Snap Construction, for years, so I knew I could trust him. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their reviews online. They are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor online in the metro area. Over the years, Ryan has always said the same thing to me about his work. If we build it, shouldn't we be held accountable for the work indefinitely? He backed that statement up years ago when Snap Construction was a pioneer in offering a lifetime craftsmanship guarantee on all their work. For a free estimate or general questions, call the locally owned company AM 950 Trust, Snap Construction at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or find them online at snapconstruction.com. They have financing options available.
Victor's 1959 Cafe in South Minneapolis is a locally owned and operated restaurant offering traditional Cuban food. Open for breakfast and lunch daily with dinner Tuesday through Saturday. For night shift workers, Victor's even has both a morning and evening happy hour, and Victor's now accepts dinner reservations too. Stop in and try some delicious authentic Cuban cuisine like ropa vieja and seafood paella. Make your reservation and learn more at victors1959cafe.com. Victor's 1959 Cafe, revolutionary Cuban cooking.
I'm Candy Brothel, publisher of the Twin Cities edition of Natural Awakenings magazine and host of Green Tea Conversations, a news show for people who are on a journey to take responsibility for their health and play a more active role in their family's well-being. Join me every Sunday at 10 a.m. as I interview local experts who share the latest in natural holistic approaches in a fun and informative way. So grab a cup of tea and join the conversation as we awaken to natural health. Visit us at naturaltwincities.com.
With all the convenient big box stores that sell appliances, why do so many Minnesotans choose Warner Stellian? Check online to learn that Warner Stellian is a Minnesota family-owned business for over 60 years. Warner Stellian sells more brands than anyone else, and our passionate specialists are committed to impressing you so much that you'll refer us to everyone you know. That's our mission here at Warner Stellian. Ask around, check us out online, and when it's your time to buy appliances, join over 300,000 Minnesota homeowners and choose the specialists, Warner Stellian.
This is Ellie Krug from Ellie 2.0 Radio on Mondays from 7 to 8 a.m. Many listeners know that I founded Human Inspiration Works, LLC, which trains on human inclusivity and on how to be welcoming to diverse humans. Today, organizations of all sizes find that they need to train team members on diversity and inclusion. I can do that. Many say that my trainings change the way they see the world. I'd love to help make your organization more welcoming. For more information, go to humaninspirationworks.com. Thank you.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Eric Nelson. Today, showers and thunderstorms after 4 p.m. with a high of 76 and a low around 58. Sunday, the thunderstorms continue with a high of 69 and a low around 54. Monday will be mostly sunny with a high near 74 and a low around 57. Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants. Make sure the money you spend stays local, featuring great restaurants such as Burger Mo's, The Bad Waitress, Cafe Latte, and more. Find a full list of restaurants at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life and all aspects, including today we have the privilege of talking about funeral planning and cremation planning services. And with us today is Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. This is I'm Ken Haglind, and we are going to get back into this topic about how important it is to be planning in advance for funeral services or cremation services. But before we do that, this radio program is brought to you in part each week by the team at Genetic Health RX, who specialize in providing DNA testing to ensure the medications you are taking or are planning to take are the best ones for your unique genetic profile. By doing this, you may also help reduce potential negative drug side effects. The team there at Genetic Health work with your doctor to create a personalized medication management program by using a simple one-time test that is covered by Medicare and most insurance plans. For more information, please call the team at Genetic Health RX at 612-991-9930 or visit them online at Genetic Health RX. Pam, would you let our audience know again how they can get in contact with you for any questions they may have or more information?
Sure. So you can call us directly, 612-377-2203. Those phones are answered 24/7. And you can also visit our website at www.washburnmcreavy.com.
Fantastic. And we are live on the air today, June 15th. And if you have any questions for us, please feel free to give us a call. You can reach us at 952 946-6205, 952-946-6205. And Eric would be happy to get you on the air with your question. Okay, last segment, we were talking more about the services that Washburn McReavy provides, and we just were touching on how different it is today than it was a generation or two ago, and maybe even not that long ago, how families are so dispersed around the United States, around the world actually, and they fly in now for things, and the coordination is just much different than it was maybe a generation ago. And Bill, you were mentioning off the air, you guys even have a cutting edge collaboration software that helps families to help the coordination process. Could you or Pam maybe talk a little bit about that?
Sure, we'd be happy to do so. It's called Passari, and it's really we have found, we started with a different software company and a couple different ones, and now we are with what's called Passari, and it is designed, we actually helped in designing it. And for all of our 16 locations, we're able to pull up on the computer at any time information on any one of our families at any point, whether it's advanced planning or somebody passes away or it's somebody that we had years ago. We're able to look that up at any one of our locations and access that information, which is very important. And one of the pieces in Passari is the Collaboration Center, where a family can go online and share information with us and with their family members, writing an obituary in advance, saying this is what we think we want to have, and asking questions and sharing information. Even information, death certificate information, mom's maiden name, for example, dad's social security number, that kind of thing. Just that maybe somebody doesn't have right at their fingertips, and that we need ultimately, and that they need to provide. So it is a very helpful tool.
Well, and I can see that in our practice in hospice, just getting the family on the same page is difficult at times with end-of-life care or planning. And so this is a great service that you guys have, and I can see where families now would benefit greatly by utilizing that application, that software. So it's a web-based application then, so people can connect to it. Okay, all right. Because everyone seems to be working off of iPhones or tablets these days, so it's important to be able to get access to people when they're available. But okay, so that's one great benefit that you guys have. But let's talk about the benefits of advanced planning. I mean, that's one of the key here to this show today is to encourage people to plan in advance. Think these things through, and I know that's a specialty of Pam and her department. Let's talk about that. What it goes into advanced planning?
I can share with you a little bit about that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Pam. Every Monday morning, Pam and I have a meeting with our prearrangement staff, or with her staff, and she has the prearrangement specialists that report directly to her, and she does a great job with them. And I'm there to help them to learn and answer any questions, and to make sure that they are doing the right thing out there for the advanced planning segment of our company. And it has become such a significant part of what we do that Pam could share with you more about how many people plan in advance. But it becomes where virtually every single morning when we wake up and we talk to scheduling, we never close. We answer, as Pam mentioned, we answer our telephones 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We never close. We always have our staff on premise. We have people that work from 10 o'clock at night till 8 in the morning, and it's just seamless. And so it's very important that we have access to all of our information and that we can help people around the clock. And so I'm going to turn it over to Pam to share a little bit about that. But when we wake up in the morning, virtually every day we have people that have advanced planned, different ones, maybe just a little bit, maybe very extensively with a lot of detail, and then paid in advance as well if they choose to do so. We do a lot of that because there are some definite advantages for that we can talk about at any point. But Pam does an extraordinary job for our company, and we're very grateful to have her. So I'm going to let her share a little bit about the advantages of doing so and how common it is today.
Thank you, Bill. So Ken, we see people coming into our funeral home one of two ways, either prepared or unprepared. And prepared meaning that they took the time to put a plan together. We refer to it as a gift of love to their family. They can take what they want, they can put down on paper and really communicate what their wishes are with their family. Unprepared is you're coming in, there's been no thought put into it, and now your family is devastated and having to make over 100 decisions and then pay for it. So we want to educate the community far in advance so they can have these conversations, much like you, I'm sure, do with hospice. Know your options and write them down and give your family that peace of mind. And that's really the number one reason people do this, is the peace of mind, knowing that they've taken care of all this for their loved ones left behind.
And you guys do have a pre-planning guide that is something that people can get from you guys then, or?
We do, and we offer that when we do our group presentations, or anybody that would like to receive one can call in. We like to meet with people and go through it because it can be quite overwhelming. And there's a lot of detail. And oftentimes when we meet with people, it sparks additional conversations. For instance, we may meet with a couple and the wife says, I want to be cremated, and the husband is surprised and wants a traditional burial, and they have never even had that discussion before. So those are the kinds of things that we want to document and talk about and explore with families that we meet with.
So how much time should a family set aside to go through that and have those conversations? And it's probably a conversation that transcends several meetings possibly, but what do you find is helpful in terms of setting aside time? How much time should people be thinking about that for?
So when we sit down with people and start having those conversations, it's usually about an hour or two to explore all of those. We go through everything from, we start with, that information Bill referred to for the death certificate, because we can't do much without having a death certificate when death occurs. And we want to make sure that information is accurate. And then we'll explore, what are the details of your service? What are your wishes? Do you want cremation? Do you want a traditional burial, or something in between? And then who do you want involved? And what is important to you? So we just kind of talk through that. And through the course of our conversation, we sort of open up more dialogue and understand, and they understand and start to find out more about what their wishes are.
What do you find people are most surprised about or unaware of when they start this planning process?
How much detail is involved. That's really the thing that I hear the most is, wow. Well, first of all, I'm so glad I did this. They're relieved. Second of all, I can't believe how many decisions I had to make.
Well, yes, and in fact, there are services that I'm familiar with that actually are coaches that help people with those decisions. I mean, the music being played at the funeral, the type of flowers, it's innumerable, the decisions, and the more of those decisions that can be made up front while a person's living is so much more beneficial. In fact, people have told them that they really got to know their mother for the first time just because they got a chance to ask these questions that are very personal questions. So it's been a great experience for many people in the planning process.
It really has, and we actually will go through some of those details. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite flower? And it seems insignificant when you just say, well, it's a daisy, or my favorite color is blue. But when it comes to the actual funeral, now all of a sudden those decisions are easy for the family, because if mom's favorite flower was a daisy, then her bouquets are going to be daisies. And that can be a point of contention with families if it hasn't been thought out, because when a person passes away, emotions are pretty high. And if there's any disagreements in the family, it magnifies that. And so if you can take that away from the family, where they can come in and just make those decisions and not have second thoughts. Did we do the right thing? No, mom's favorite color was this. No, it was that. So those kinds of little decisions can be really big when a death occurs and you've lost a loved one, and now, your emotions are pretty high.
Well, and I always, because when the person passes, you lose their input in this process. And that's why it's so important. And I know you guys are big believers in do this now. Don't wait. We don't. Our days are numbered. We don't know how long we're going to have, and it makes sense to do that early. And Bill, you talked about the benefits of even prepaying for the services as well.
Yes, we do a lot of that, Ken. And we work with a company called Funeral Directors Life Insurance Company, and they actually are the ones that designed Passari, the software. And so it is just a great company, and we feel very grateful. It's actually the company that the Minnesota Funeral Directors Association endorses as well. So it is really a great thing. And just, before we go to break, I think you're going to wave us off pretty soon. I just want you to know, Pam, that my favorite color is maroon and gold.
All right, it's time for a short break here. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. Please stay with us.
Hi, friends. I've been talking to you about Minnesota's first green cemetery, Prairie Oaks Memorial Eco Gardens. It's an entirely new way of looking at our last earthly step. Burials are designed to have as little impact on the environment as possible. For many of us, a continuation of the commitment we made during our lifetime. Let me suggest you go to the website, mngreengraves.com. Explore what it is. Prairie Oaks Memorial Eco Gardens. It's a lovely place, a peaceful place. Minnesota's first green cemetery.
Native Roots Radio is proud to announce we've added an extra hour.
Yeah, Chushke, 1 hour goes by too fast.
That's right, Uncle Curtis.
I'll have extra time to share important information about our secret animals.
And report national and native news from all over the country and Canada.
This new hour is sponsored by Robbins Kaplan LLP, dedicated to redefining excellence for high-stakes litigation representation in Indian country.
We are awake.
We use technology every day to help manage our lives. Why not use it to help manage your medications? St. Paul Corner Drug offers several free tools to keep you on track while taking your medications. Use our mobile app to quickly order a refill, or the Meds on Q application, which turns your smartphone or tablet into your very own personal medication attendant. Email and text messaging options let you know when your medication is ready for pickup, making efficient use of your time. St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
Tom Hartman here, letting you know how you can save money with All Energy Solar. One of the myths about solar is that it's too expensive and you need lots of money down. The truth? Solar is available for little or no money down. And if you have a great site for solar, you might even save money right away on a monthly basis. So don't wait to switch. You'll see your investment pay off the sooner you switch to All Energy Solar. So start saving today and visit allenergysolar.com.
Chances are after spring cleaning you missed a spot. A couple really big spots, like your roof and siding. Run your fingers across your siding. You'll likely get a gross residue. And your roof probably has some black streaks too. Your roof and siding aren't always easy to clean, but they're definitely the most visible parts of your home that give it its curb appeal. So let Blue Sky Services clean your roof and siding. Blue Sky's safe soft wash method won't cause any damages and will make your home look like new. Right now, Blue Sky Services is running their summer special where you can get your whole house, roof, and siding cleaned starting at only $447. That's the most viewed parts of your home cleaned for only $447. Then mention AM 950 when you call Blue Sky Services to get an additional $50 off. So get the curb appeal back on your home and call Blue Sky Services at 952-467-2447. That's 952-467-2447.
All right, welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in studio is Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services. And we are talking about the importance of advanced funeral and cremation planning. Pam, again, let our audience know one more time how they can reach you if they have any questions or need more information.
Sure can. They can call us at 612 377-2203. Those phones are answered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And our website, www.washburnmcreavy.com.
All right. Thank you for that. We do have, I see we've got text messages and we've got a phone caller on the line here. Eric, could you open up the phone line for that caller? Hi, is this Reverend Jack?
Hey. Yes, how you doing? Hey, this is Reverend Jack. Bill, I just saw you the other day, actually, out in Edina.
Yes, nice job officiating.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'll try to make this quick. I got a couple points. And first of all, Ken, I love your show. I listen every week. It's an amazing show. It's very unique, and it's a gem. It really is. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much.
But, for the last 15 years, I work with different funeral homes around town, and that's what I do is funerals and memorial services for people that request that the funeral director find them someone to officiate. And I tell you this because, first of all, I want to say something about the McReavy family and what they do. They're amazing, and they're very well. Their staff is so professional and well trained, and I have a unique perspective because I'm kind of behind the scenes with a lot of different places, and I can't say enough good. And I always find it really great that sometimes, more times than not, when I'm out at the Edina Chapel there on 50th, and all of a sudden it's time to usher the family out, and here comes Bill, out of the office to come down and help the family. So you guys do a great job, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jack. You're very kind.
Thank you, I mean it. But I just want to say, as far as I sit down with these families like you guys do. A little bit different, obviously, but after the death occurs, and try to plan out the service, and thank goodness most people don't have to go through that all the time. And folks like you do it, every day. And so that's why you come from that professional perspective. But I would just say how often that people will say, oh, Mom had everything ready. We know exactly what she wants. And it's I'm kind of echoing a lot of what Pam said, but, it takes away oftentimes infighting within the family, or just, the nervousness, did I make the right decision? What would Mom think about this? Whatever. And then sometimes the opposite, people are just beside themselves. They don't know. They don't know even the big things. Do we want a burial, cremation, or, go to the National Cemetery, or, what are, and I know my mom has a folder in this particular drawer in her desk years ago, before I was even doing this kind of stuff. She showed me, and she said, when I die, you open this up, and it's got everything in there. And it's got, like, life insurance information and, passwords, everything. And just, she's still alive. She's 86 now, but just knowing that that's there even gives me peace of mind, because I know that my sisters and I will just open that up and follow her instructions. So this is a great show. This is a great topic, and nobody better to do it than you folks. So thank you for everything.
Well, fantastic. Jack, thanks for calling in. Thanks for being a listener. We sure appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right. God bless you guys.
Well, God bless you too. Hey, that gives us kind of a segue here. Pam, you've got a brochure that says the 8 important things everyone should know about the benefits of advanced planning. Maybe we touch on that in the last couple of minutes here of the show.
Sure. So obviously the number one I mentioned earlier is peace of mind, knowing that everything's been taken care of for your family. One other thing that we really, that's a great benefit, is our inflation-proof guarantee. And what that means, Ken, is once a person has taken the time to make their arrangements and pay for them, Washburn McReavy offers a guarantee that their family will not pay any more for that same service and merchandise, no matter how far into the future it is that they pass away. And that can be a significant savings over time. We do place the funds in a properly structured plan that is exempt from counting as an asset for medical assistance purposes, because we have a lot of people that come in and they have to plan a funeral because that's one of the allowable things to do if you're applying for medical assistance. We also offer the opportunity to sign your own cremation authorization. That's important because at the time of death, we do require a signature from your spouse if they're living, and if not, it's the majority of children, and that can cause a big delay if there's any disagreements or if we can't find people to sign that.
Right. And there's some other things here as well. I mean, just this is a really great brochure here. Like you say, making a decision on burial, like Jack mentioned on the phone, big decisions, burial, cremation, what type of cremation. There's a lot of things that go into these decisions. And again, laying this out, as Jack said, if it's already pre-planned, then people can focus on the celebration of life.
Right, and I just want to mention with our planning guide, literally a family member, if it's completed, a family member can pick that up and know exactly what you want. And I will mention it's great to have that, but make sure you also have that information on file with a funeral home, and also let your family know about it, because we've had situations where they think mom did something but have no idea where it is, or maybe it wasn't completed.
Okay. Do you guys get involved in working with the power of attorney, the POA?
We do.
Okay.
So they can obviously make those decisions on behalf of whoever they're power of attorney for, and they can take care of it all. Because sometimes we have the situation where the person is maybe not able to make those decisions or sign on behalf of themselves. So a power of attorney can come in and make those arrangements completed as well.
Okay. Another reminder, make sure that you do have a power of attorney established and a backup in case that power of attorney is not available either.
Right.
For these decisions. All right, we got just a minute left here. Bill, do you have some final comments here about, I know you got a lot of great services. You have memorial services and some video services. Do you want to talk about some of that in the last minute here?
Yeah, the video part, we offer a complimentary video for every family to play the hour before the service or during the service. We have drop-down screens, some really great technology for sharing photographs of the family. Usually it's 30 photographs that are synced to beautiful music. It's the best software package in the profession that we know of. And it tells a life story, starting with a baby picture all the way to, when you get married and have children and grandchildren and everything. And it's just an amazing way to celebrate somebody's life.
And does the family get that then to keep afterwards?
Absolutely. Okay. They can show that, get copies made, and I will tell you that is one of the things that has changed over the years. When I first started, we didn't even show any pictures. Now, photo display, memorabilia display, we try to help the family to celebrate each person's life and do as much or as little as they want to do.
Right. No better way in a multimedia environment for that, especially with all the multi-generations that are attending funerals these days. You got kids and everybody's so used to having that multimedia experience. So that's great.
And it helps them in the grieving process. It really does.
Yeah. Well, we're up against the clock here at the end of the show. I want to thank Bill McReavy and Pam Tsatos from Washburn McReavy Funeral and Cremation Services for sharing their expertise and insights on the importance of advanced funeral and cremation planning. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation, or let us know of topics you'd like for us to discuss on future shows. You can reach us by phone or text at 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday for another edition of Living Healthy and Aging Well. Until next time, live well.